We got there. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope you're doing great. Welcome to Clear Start Mondays. I am John Heyman, a performance activation coach, and tonight, your host. I want to ask you something before we get started, and I mean it as a real question, not a greeting. How are you doing? Not how's your week been, not what's on the list, not what you're managing or handling or pushing through. How are you actually doing? Most of us haven't been asked that in a way that we wanted a real answer in a long time. And most of us haven't asked ourselves. We know what we're doing. We know what's expected. We know what comes next on the schedule. But if someone sat us down and said, "What's actually going on with you right now?" Honestly, a lot of us wouldn't know where to start. And that's okay, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about checking in with yourself the way you'd check in with someone you care about. Honestly, without rushing past the answer. So let's go ahead and do our meditation here, my friends, and then we'll get into this. Are you ready? I am.
Let's begin our sensation grounding practice. I want to invite you to sit up straight and keep your head facing forward with your shoulders back and chest open. Place your feet flat on the floor. I want to invite you to get comfy and close your eyes. Let the sounds you are hearing arrive in your ears. Notice your feet on the ground. Bring your awareness to all of the physical contact points your feet have in this moment. Take 3 breaths that are deeper than normal and gently begin to let your thoughts go while staying focused on the tones you hear. I want to invite you to begin to notice the different textures of the tone that is playing in the background. Does the tone feel hot or cold? What color does the tone sound like to you? We are just listening with curious intent to the sounds, while gently letting our thoughts pass us by. Notice the new sound. Place your full focused attention on this new sound. Notice how warm it is. Notice how reassuring this new sound is. Are you holding on to any physical tension or stress right now? Visualize the air you've taken in flowing into any tension spots you may have in your body. Take a breath for a count of 4 and hold it at the top for a count of 7. As you exhale this breath, breathe out of your mouth for a count of 8. During this exhale, imagine your physical tension is leaving your body with your breath. Notice the temperature of the air as it escapes your lips. Bring your focused awareness to your breath. Do this as many times as you need. With your eyes closed, imagine you are a cat and your thoughts are like a mouse coming out of a mouse hole. Have you ever tried to catch a thought? Can you catch the next one? When you catch one, imagine just noticing it. We give this thought no other energy than to notice it. We are just a cat, pawing at thoughts coming out of the mouse hole. Begin to realize that you are the presence behind the thoughts. Do you need to chase the mouse? Just breathe. In for 4. Hold for 7. Out of your mouth for 8. Just breathe. In for 4. Hold for 7. Out of your mouth for 8. Do you need to chase the mouse? Gently let your thoughts go. Notice a sense of overwhelming calm and peace has begun to envelop you. welcome to open your eyes and return to the room.
Welcome back, everyone. So here's what I've noticed about most people, myself included. We are excellent at checking in with other people. We notice when someone we care about seems off. We ask them what's wrong, we sit with them, we listen, and we take their answers seriously. But we almost never do that for ourselves. We wake up and we start moving. We handle things, and somewhere during the course of our day, we never actually stop to ask what's going on inside of us. Not what's happening around us, but what's going on inside. There's a feeling underneath everything that you've been doing this week. Maybe it's been there for days, maybe longer. Maybe you've been moving too fast to look at it, and that's okay. Or maybe you've been moving so fast specifically that you don't have to look at it. Tonight we're going to slow down long enough to actually check in. Not to fix anything. We're not going to solve anything. We're just going to see what's going on. Because you can't fix something that you refuse to look at. So go ahead and grab something to write with. And remember, we're always looking for honesty in here. Don't ever write what you think I want to hear. Write how you feel. Write what comes up for you. This is your experience. So I don't want you to think about this week. I don't want you to recap anything that's going on. I don't want the highlight reel or the lowlight reel. I want you to check in with yourself right now, in this room, listening to my voice, in this body. What's actually going on with you? Not the surface answer, not I'm tired or I'm stressed or I'm fine. Those are labels. I'm asking you for what's underneath the label. Are you carrying something that you haven't told anyone about? Is there a heaviness that's been following you around that you keep stepping on? Is there a tightness in your chest or your shoulders or your jaw that's been there so long that you stopped noticing it? Or maybe it's not heavy. Maybe there's something good happening in your life that you haven't let yourself feel because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Whatever it is, write it down. Not the story of why, just what's here, right now. Name the feeling in your body, name where it lives in your body, and be honest about what you find. This might be the first time you've checked in with yourself in weeks, and that's okay. Take your time with it. We're going to take 5 minutes here. What's actually going on with you? What signal inside you wants your attention? What are you feeling? Where is it sitting in your body? Just write it down, whatever comes up. Got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, so maybe this is something that you've been carrying that you've not told anyone about. Or maybe it's not something that you've been carrying. Maybe it's something good in your life that you haven't let yourself feel because you're waiting for the shoe to drop. Whatever it is, just give me what's below that label. What's below I'm stressed. Be detailed. The more detailed you are, the more this is going to help you. Just about 40 seconds to go here. So if at the very least, ask yourself what signal inside of you wants your attention right now. What are you feeling? And where is it sitting in your body? All right. Go ahead and look at what you just wrote. Whatever that is, that's been in there. Good or bad. Maybe for days, maybe for months. And maybe you've been stepping over it to get to the next thing on your list. So I want you to think about this. If someone you love came to you and told you exactly what you just wrote down, how would you respond? I'm willing to bet that you'd stop, that you'd listen and you'd take it seriously. You wouldn't tell them to push through or toughen up or stay busy enough to ignore it. So when was the last time you gave yourself that? When was the last time that you stopped and actually listened to what was going on inside you without judging it? Without trying to fix it immediately, without telling yourself it's not that bad? What would it look like to check in with yourself in the way that you check in with the people that you love? Not once a year when things fall apart. I'm talking about regularly, like it matters, because it does. So what would practice look like for you? When would you do it? What would you ask yourself? Let's write about that for 5 minutes. What would that practice look like? When would you do it? And what would you ask yourself? When was the last time you checked in with yourself the way that you check in with people you care about? Let's write about it. 5 minutes, friends. If someone you love came to you and told you that they were carrying exactly what you just wrote down, how would you respond? Notice that feeling. Notice what that feels like. How could you apply that to yourself? When was the last time you actually stopped and listened to what was going on inside of you without judging it? And just showing up as your friend? What would it look like? What would it look like to check in with yourself that way? What would that practice look like for you? When would you do it? What would you ask yourself? Write these down. This is so good. Write these down, friends. Just over 2 minutes to go here. Oh, all of that was muted. So I'm going to do that again. Let's go back to the primary scene. Hold that. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. I'm so sorry. Read what's on the screen. What if the reason everything feels so heavy isn't because of what's happening around you? What if it's because you haven't stopped to ask what's happening inside you? Now think about that for a second. You've been managing your schedule, managing other people's needs, managing the day, managing the week, And the whole time, there's been something sitting inside of you that just needed 5 minutes of your honest attention. Not a solution, not a plan, not a fix, just someone asking. And that someone is you. What you wrote down tonight is not a problem to solve. It's information. It's your own self telling you what it needs. And the fact that it took sitting in this room on a Monday night for you to hear it tells you something honest about how rarely you may check in with yourself. And that's not a judgment, that's an invitation. An invitation to start checking in right now, regularly, like you matter because you do. For 3 minutes, write what just shifted for you. Pretty please. What if the reason everything feels so heavy isn't because of what's happening around you? Remember, what you wrote down tonight is not a problem to solve, it's information. It's your own self telling you what you need. And for some of you, this may be the first time in your life that you've ever checked in with yourself, and that's okay. This is just an invitation to start checking in. And ask yourself this question once you check in. What if the reason everything feels so heavy isn't because of what's happening around you? All right, friends, here's what I want to leave you with this week. You are incredibly good at noticing when someone else is struggling. You've picked up on the tone, the body language, the quiet withdrawal, and you respond to it. If you're an empathetic person, you ask, you listen, you show up. That skill isn't something you need to learn. You already have it. You've been practicing it your whole life for other people. The practice now is turning it inward. Not as therapy, not as any kind of like self-improvement feat that you're going to hold yourself to, but just as basic maintenance. The same way that you check the oil in your car or notice when your kid is quieter than usual. You know what I'm talking about, mom and dad. You're allowed to notice when something is off inside you and take it seriously. Most of us were never taught that. We were taught to push through, to stay busy and handle it. And we got so good at handling things, we learned how to avoid what we were carrying. Tonight, you stopped carrying correctly for a few minutes and looked at what was in your hands. That's not small. That's the beginning of a different kind of relationship with yourself. One where you check in. Not when things fall apart, but before they do. Our anchor phrase this week is still the biggest change is now. And this week, it doesn't mean catching a reaction or challenging an agreement. It means something quieter. It means stopping. Even for 30 seconds before you walk inside of a room, or in the morning before you look at your phone, or at night before you fall asleep. Asking yourself one honest question in any of these moments: what's actually going on with me right now? Not to fix it, not to journal about it, not to turn it into a project, not to make it some emotional thing that you're going to wear for the rest of the night. Just to notice it. Just acknowledge it. Give it the same 5 seconds of attention that you'd give to anyone else. At least you deserve that much, right? That's the biggest change. Not doing more, but pausing long enough to give yourself grace to listen to yourself. The biggest change is now. Tonight, you did something that sounds simple and isn't. It's challenging to check in with yourself, and you named what was actually going on inside you. Not the story, not the spin, the real thing. That's what's on my paper here, and I bet it's what's on yours too. You noticed that you haven't been giving yourself the same attention you give to everyone around you, and you started thinking about what it could look like to change that. Bravo, that matters, because everything we've been building in this room this entire time, the awareness, the discernment, the self-compassion, none of it works if you won't stop long enough to listen to yourself. And this is the foundation, right? Not the flashy stuff. This, checking in, noticing this is the bare minimum of doing the work, of taking yourself seriously. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to have fun. This is taking one step closer to who you actually are. 1 week at a time, one question at a time, honestly. Clear Start Mondays is here every Monday at 6 in the same room, same format, new ground. If you want to understand the patterns that keep you from checking in with yourself, the Saboteur Assessment is available at rvscoaching.com/saboteur, and that will map them for you. It's free. It takes about 5 minutes, and then you can connect with me, and I'll walk you through a debrief. Feel free to reach out directly, John at RVS Coaching. And with that, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your energy. I believe in you, and I'll see you next Monday, friends. Have a great week.